Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to our first in-person meeting in over 1 year. It's good to see everybody's faces. I want to thank everybody for joining the City of Kingston Planning Board meeting. Today is Monday, July 19th, 2021. My name is Suzanne Cahill. I am the Planning Director for the City of Kingston, and I will now turn the meeting over to Chairman Wayne Platt to open our meeting at 6:01 p.m.
Thank you, Sue. We will, so you want me to read from right here, right? This is what okay. Even though we are back in person, before we begin the meeting, we would like to go over a few meeting guidelines to help us navigate this system as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We'll begin tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next we will go ahead with introduction of board members. My name is Wayne Platt. I'm the chairman. We also have Charles Polacco, Vice Chairman. If you can raise your hands, folks. So we're live streaming right now. Robert Jacobson, Matt Gillis, Kevin Roach, Vince Archer, Emily Hamilton, and Sage Newkirk. Welcome, everybody. Looking for anybody else here. Okay. We also would like to have folks silence all of their cell phones. And if you need to have a conversation other than within this board area, please take it to one of the conference rooms located just outside both of these doors in the council chambers. Bathrooms are located to the doors to my right. In case of emergency, we're going to not use the elevators and use the stairway. There's stairways at both sides that exit out at the bottom. Board members and city staff have their individual microphones and will control them. Please make sure that you keep yours off unless you are speaking. This will help with overall recording. If a board member or staff wishes to speak, they will raise their hands. The chairperson will call on them before they speak by stating their name clearly for our audio listeners and recording. The board member will then unmute themselves, state their name, and speak clearly, muting after finished. All of our meetings continue to be recorded. Both video and written transcriptions will be available to the public on the city's website at a later date. The meeting is also being live streamed on the City of Kingston YouTube channel. In lieu of public speaking during the monthly meeting, we requested all comments to be received by 2 p.m. on Friday, July 16th, 2021. Comments could have been emailed to Suzanne Cahill, Planning Director, at skcahill@kingston-ny.gov, mailed or placed in the Dropbox outside of City Hall on the hospital side of the building. There were no written comments received. We also persons wishing to speak to contact the office in advance of the meeting, so a public hearing is called. Those who have already indicated they wish to speak will be called upon first. No one has pre-registered to speak for any of the hearings scheduled. Materials for this meeting may be found on the City of Kingston website, www.kingston-ny.gov. Once on the homepage, click on Government and Services tab, select Planning Projects, and then Planning Board. We also have a special announcement. There will be a special meeting of the Planning Board on August 9th, 2021. The purpose of the meeting will be to review the Bluestone Commons project. Okay. Moving on to the meeting, item number 1 is adoption of the June 21st, 2021 Planning Board meeting transcripts and decisions. Everybody, I believe, has received a copy of those. Any comments, deletions, or additions? Okay, seeing none, this is Wayne Platt. I will make a motion to adopt the the June 21st, 2021 Planning Board meeting transcripts and decisions. Do I have a second on that? Second by Matt Gillis. All in favor? Do we have to go one by one on this or just everybody? Okay, show of hands, everybody in favor? All opposed? That is carried. Okay, public hearings. Item number 2 is 327-329 Wall Street. It's a special permit renewal for residential use in the C2 Mixed Use Overlay District. It's in the Stockade Historic District as well as Heritage Area. Section block and lot is 48.331-1-11. Seeker determination, Zone C2, Mixed Use Overlay District, Ward 2, 329 Wall Street LLC is the applicant owner. Andrew Wright is here as the applicant owner. Nobody is wishing to speak at this time. I know we haven't received any written requests. Okay. Come on down. Where's Andrew going to sit? Where did we have him? Way down yonder. Let the record show that Andrew Wright is here. Welcome, sir. Okay,
How's that?
that's great.
Yes, we just like to renew our special permit and we respectfully
Bring
request.
that closer in. I had to do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
There we
How's
go.
that? Should I start singing?
That's good.
The one request we have to do this fairly often. We've had this building since 2007. It's been a great property and it's worked quite well. If it's possible to get a longer period of time between the next a renewal of the special permit, that'd be wonderful. I think we can go 5 years, maybe.
Okay, so there's no changes at all to what's going on there?
Same
Okay.
4 apartments, same 2 tenants.
Okay, so just for the record, the proposal is to renew a special permit for 4 residential units on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the building. The permit was initially approved and issued by the planning board in January of 2006, with the most recent renewal, July of 2016, for a period of 3 years. And all the units are occupied?
Yes.
Okay. And we also have no issues listed with the police and the building departments. Okay, I do see that staff is recommending continuing the term 5 years, which is longer than what we've been doing, right?
That'd be great. Thank you.
Anybody have any opposition to that from the board? Okay. Any questions from the board? Okay. Under seeker, it's a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required at this time. At this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 2 for a period of 5 years with all original conditions carried forward. That's Wayne Platt. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Robert Jacobson. All in favor, show of hands. All right, all opposed? Carried. Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
See you in 5 years. All right, 6:10. All right. Okay, item number 3 is 85-87 and 89 West Union Street. Lot line deletion of the lands of Michael Piazza. Section block and lot is 56.43-1-25 and 26. Secret determination, zone RT, Rondout Historic District, Heritage Area, Coastal Zone, Ward 8. Michael Piazza is the applicant owner. Anybody besides you representing Mr. Piazza? Okay, anybody else from the audience want to speak on this during a public hearing? Okay, come on up, Dennis. Let the record show that Dennis Larios is here representing the applicant owner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There we go.
A simple request to delete a lot line between two lots owned by the applicant. They're undersized lots. One's 30 feet wide, one is 31 feet wide. Joining the lots together would make it a 61-foot wide lot, approximately 62 feet deep, which would allow him to build a home, which is his objective.
Okay. Well, for our notes here, staff has been contacted by the party that will be constructing the new residence, and they have been advised that any plans for construction will need to come before this board, Heritage Area Commission, and the Landmarks Commission. So I just wanted to put that in the record. Any questions from the board? All right. Under seeker, this is a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. Are we just going to put board policy 6 as part of the conditions, or do you want this other stuff in there? Yeah. Okay, at this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 3 with board policy 6 applied. Also conditions, submission of written description of resultant parcel for review and approval by staff. Submit 5 paper and 1 Mylar copy with owner's signature for the chairman's signature. Note, a lot line deletion does not become final until plans are filed with the Ulster County Clerk. Ulster County Real Property will not make changes to the tax maps until map and new deed is filed. That is a motion. Do I have a second on that? Second by Kevin Roach. All in favor, show of hands. Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Dennis. Take it easy. All right. There you go. Okay, moving out of public hearings into old business. Item number 4 is 132 Lindsley Avenue. It's a site plan to establish a 12-room hotel with restaurant and event use and to renovate a second structure into a 2-dwelling residence. Section block and lot is 56.28-1-4.2. Secret determination, zone RRR, coastal zone, National Register. It's in Ward 8, 132 Lindsley Avenue LLC is the applicant owner. Hi, folks. Can you, Joe, you want to introduce your team here?
It's for the project. We got that now?
Yeah.
Joe Ariel with Veneziano and Associates, attorneys for the project. And I'll just.
Christina Ducharme, KDA.
Zachary Hall, KDA.
Kevin McManus.
Okay.
As the board knows, first of all, it is very good to actually see all of you. And it's good in general to be back out in the world, I'm sure, for all of us. It's a site plan application. It's appropriately described, I think, on the agenda. We have had comments from your staff, comments from county planning. We've responded. Obviously, the team is here to answer any further questions that you have, but we think that all the comments that have been made in every respect either are or certainly will be complied with. And as I said, any questions that you have, we're happy to answer them tonight.
Wayne,
Yeah.
there is a memo that I handed out, came in late this afternoon. If the board members, I wasn't able to get it out by email, so you have a hard copy if you want to read through that. That will go through a lot of questions that are in the staff notes.
Okay. Do you want me to read these line by line here to enter into
Yeah,
record?
I think
Okay.
so. And then that'll cover a lot of the staff notes, and we can start then go through the staff notes. If something's already been addressed, we checked it off.
Okay. All right, this is a memo to Suzanne Cahill, city planner, from Kevin McManus. It was CC'd to Christina Ducharme and Zachary Hall, dated July 19th, 2021, referencing Edgewood Terrace notes for board members. On our conference call on Friday, July 16th, 2021, we reviewed your, quote, notes for board members, unquote. Pursuant to that call and our discussion of your notes, we offer the following for the board's consideration. Number one, a comprehensive management plan. A draft addendum to the previously submitted Hutton Brickyards plan will be submitted to the City of Kingston that will provide information on staffing, restaurant and hotel operations, parking, deliveries, solid waste management, security, special events. Two, the Lindsley Avenue parking lot, which is currently under construction, will be valet served and will provide parking for the patrons of the Edgewood Terrace Hotel and Restaurant, as well as the Hutton Brickyards cabins. Three, staff parking will be at 188 North Street. Four, handicap parking will be designated in the spaces immediately adjacent to the Edgewood Terrace Hotel and Restaurant. Compliant signage and striping will be provided. Five, an ADA ramp providing access to the building is required, but an elevator is not required by code. Six, deliveries will be made to 188 North Street and will be distributed to the Hutton Brickyards and Edgewood Terrace venues from there. Seven, Edgewood Terrace Hotel and Restaurant refuse will be transported to 188 North Street and picked up by a licensed carter there. Eight, an updated signage plan will be submitted with the final plans. Nine, the existing sewage disposal system serving the carriage house is currently being evaluated for its intended use. As a backup, a plan to connect to the existing sewer service is being developed for inclusion in the final plans. Okay. That takes care of a lot of questions, I guess, right?
We hope so.
Yeah. What about cost estimates for the performance bond? Do you want to speak to that, Sue?
Using your staff notes, go through a lot of those points that
Okay.
you just read.
All right.
We'll address the comments of the staff notes.
Well, these are kind of peppered throughout the staff notes here, right? I gotta. All right, the narrative states that the house is 11 bedrooms, but the hotel will be a 12-key hotel. The narrative also states that the site will include a restaurant and event space. The narrative does not describe these uses in detail. Can you clarify that the restaurant event space, will it be a year-round or seasonal, as noted in the traffic analysis? Is that?
Yeah, the restaurant will be used year-round.
Okay. And just to clarify, it will be open to the public and to also to the restaurant, to the hotel itself, to the
Yes,
guests at the
that's correct.
hotel. Okay. And SALT will be managing this site?
Yes.
Okay. And are you in contact with SHPO? I mean, that's going to, I'm jumping ahead to some of the county comments. Is that something that you're intending to do too? I'm not saying it's required, but just saying it
Yes.
has, okay. The comprehensive management plan, is that something, I mean, we're hoping to maybe have that up, tie it up, wrapped up within 90 days. Is that something that is, you can, is doable?
Yeah, I think that would be reasonable.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was answering a text about a public hearing,
Okay.
but did you say, when will this site management plan for this specific location be ready? Do you have a date on that?
Next week?
Sounds good. Thank you.
That's within 90 days, right? Yeah, that's good.
We'll, as the attorney, let me say, we'll take the 90 days, but I
Okay.
think it'll be next week.
That's, I
Well,
should have asked her question. I got stuff written down that
I think the idea, and we talked about this on Friday when we had our phone call, that you were going to have the site-specific one prepared, and then we were going to try and incorporate that as a component of the comprehensive. And I'm looking at the 90-day timeframe of the comprehensive plan being fully completed and acceptable.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, good.
And I didn't print out my lighting stuff from the county either, so I want to jump into the county comments.
Okay.
Can we do that? That's the first number.
Well, they talked about everything. Just the bond. Well, that's in here. We can go through them at the end.
Why don't you talk to this?
At the end, we can.
Anybody on the board have any questions for the applicant? No? Okay. All right. Sue, do you want to speak to the performance bond question?
Yeah, we
I know
are
I'm jumping
working
ahead from the
on
planning
putting
board, but,
together a performance bond for the 200 North Street properties. We've talked about the possibility of adding to that bond to cover the site improvements. So we would need, as part of a condition of approval, the detailed cost estimate to be provided for the city staff, particularly the city engineer, to approve. And then that amount would get added to the already adopted amount for North Street into a final bond, which is my understanding is being worked on, right, Kevin? Confirm for the record.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
And staff can take care of that when all that is formulated. All right, we have also some commentary from the Ulster County Planning Board. They reviewed a number of the materials. The zoning is an advisory comment. They note that the planning board is faced with site plan application that is not consistent with the underlying zoning. But we have an interpretation, right, Sue, from our zoning enforcement officer?
Yes.
That takes care of
and
this?
You also have received by email earlier today the responses from the applicant to the county planning board comments.
Okay.
I believe, did all the board members have an opportunity to review those? Okay, they went through them one by one. I do have a hard copy. I didn't print out extras of that, but. share
Yeah.
that with you.
I got a lot of paperwork flying around here. Okay, the next comment from Ulster County Planning Board is lighting. It says lighting details are lacking for this proposal. This is their commentary here, but this is the response from the applicant, this section. Okay. Lighting selected will comply and will be shielded. And this is responses from the applicant that I'm reading here. And for the foregoing reasons, the advisory comments of the Ulster County Planning Board as to lighting will be satisfied. Signage. The county says signage details are lacking. Applicant responses comment is noted. The advisory comments of the Ulster County Planning Board will be satisfied.
I believe on that one as well, Wayne, that the applicant in their original email that you read earlier said that they would be submitting the final signage design plans with the final plan documents to staff. I think that you can allow staff to review and approve.
Okay, historic place review. And this is where I asked if you were going to be in contact with SHPO, kind of jumped ahead. Applicant's response is that the comment is noted by the county. The application was heard by the city's Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission and Heritage Area Commission at their regular meeting on July 1st, 2021, and approval was granted. The applicant will follow up with SHPO to determine if there are comments or concerns, but to date, none have been received. For the foregoing reasons, the advisory comments of the Ulster County Planning Board as to historic concerns will be satisfied. And the last comment from the county. Did we go over lighting in on that? No. Yes, we did. Excuse me. Parking. County says inadequate parking to serve the proposal is shown on the site plan. However, additional parking is indicated across Lindsley Avenue, but off-site. The applicant's response is guests in Perens Restaurant and Hotel arrive and park at the Edgewood Mansion and then are shuttled to their accommodations via previously approved Lindsley Avenue cart path. Their cars are then valeted to the existing and previously approved Lindsley Avenue parking lot across the street. Employees will arrive and park at the previously approved 188 North Street parking lot and then shuttled to the Edgewood Mansion. Edgewood event guests in Perens weddings will arrive at the existing and previously approved parking lot parking lot E at the 200 North Street property. Guests will be shuttled to the Edgewood Mansion via main roads, 200 North Street, right onto Delaware Avenue and right onto Lindsley Avenue. For the foregoing reasons, the advisory comments of the Ulster County Planning Board as to parking will be satisfied. I believe that the county has mentioned here and their responses and the memorandum that I had read at the beginning of this particular application tonight can be handled. I think it does satisfy that. And I think that elements can be handled at staff level. Does the rest of the board concur with that? Yeah. And some of these issues will become part of the comprehensive management plan, which covers this, the Hudson Brickyards, 188 North Street, and everything that is involved with this area down there. So I think that this satisfies the county's comments and again, will be added to the comprehensive management plan that will be handed in within the 90 days, right? Yeah, there we go. All right. Here, you can have this back. All right, so a part of procedure is at this time, I'm going to make a motion that indicating that the county comments have been satisfactorily taken care of by the applicant and will be handled on staff level for verification. That is a motion. Do I have a second on that? Second by Kevin Roach. All in favor, show of hands. Opposed? Carried. You're a yes? Okay. All right, this is part of that thing too. Right? Is that part of the comp? That's part of mine. I should have got a stapler out today. All right. Ready to move on to approval, right? Yeah. Before we move on to a final vote of this, does anybody on the board have any other questions? Turn that on. Yeah.
I said they put out they were doing work before they had any approval. Is this a fact?
Well, the work that was being done was just on the parking area.
Yeah, that work, thank you for bringing that up because we actually would like that be on the record. That work was in connection with a previous approval. And I think maybe when the county went out there, Mr. Leibowitz went out there, he just saw work being done and presumed perhaps that it was being done in furtherance of this application, but it was not. And you had a rep from the city went out and confirmed, I think Mr. Economos confirmed.
That's right. The building department went out to verify.
Okay, thank you for clearing that
All
up.
right. Thanks for that question, Chuck. All right. All right, so under seeker, this is an unlisted action. I have before me a short environmental assessment form. Staff has indicated that it is in order. At this time, I'll make a motion that we approve it. This is Wayne Platt. Do I have a second on that? Second by Kevin Roach. All in favor? Wayne Platt is a yes. Matt Gillis. Robert Jacobson.
Yes.
Kevin Roach.
Yes.
Charles Palaco.
Yes.
Okay, that is adopted. Okay, at this time, I will make a motion that we, and you're going to go over all of that. Yeah, you will. That we approve item number 4, and Sue Cahill is going to go over all of the board policies as well as the conditions that will be applied.
So that would be with conditions that board policies 3, 3A, 3B, 4, 4A, 5, 6, 7, 7A, 8A, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 22, 25, and 26 are incorporated. That there will be a site management plan combined with the overall comprehensive plan for Hutton Brickyards completed in adopt or approvable form within 90 days. They will provide an updated cost estimate for the performance bond and submit the final bond to the city with the 10% contingency with the approval of the city engineer. Final plans will be submitted to staff with details as discussed. Final signage plans will be submitted to staff for review and approval. Handicap parking will be shown on the final plans as described by the applicants. Verification and approval of the cesspool location and condition and decision of continuance will be submitted with the city engineer signing off. There'll be all final confirmations by the city's zoning enforcement officer of site elements. And that parking agreement, because parking is located on a site other than this applicant's property, will be worked out to assure the continued availability with the applicants by staff.
Thank you, Sue. As I stated, that is a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Kevin Roach. All in favor, indicate by raising your hand. All opposed? Carried. Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Get on the men too, Joe. Okay, moving on to new business. Item number 5 is 37 Adams Street. Site plan to replace an existing shed with a 12-foot by 24-foot garage. Section block and lot is 56.35-1-7. Seeker determination, zone RT, Rondout Historic District, part of the Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission. Coastal Zone Heritage Area Commission, Ward 9, Patricia O'Neill is the applicant owner. Oh, yep, how are you? Come on down. Yep, turn your mic on there. We always do. And can you state your name for the record, please?
Renee Stanley,
Okay,
and I do have Patricia on the phone.
okay. All right, so there's an existing shed there and the proposal is for a 12 by 24 garage. This is on our
Correct.
plans here too? Okay. The blue shed is what's being taken out?
Yes.
Okay. Anything jumping out? Pretty straightforward, right? All right, pretty straightforward. All right, the application has already received approval from the Landmarks Commission and the Heritage Area Commission. Any questions from the board? All right. Under seeker, this is a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required at this time. So I will make a motion. This is Wayne Platt. I will make a motion that we approve item number 5 with board policy 6. That's it, right? The only policy? Okay. And also to have the applicant check with the zoning enforcement officer requirements for setbacks. That is a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Robert Jacobson. All in favor, raise your hands. All opposed? Carried. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You as well.
Okay. Item number 6. 61 German Street, site plan to construct a 2-story garage for use as an artist's studio. Section block and lot is 56.42-14-16. Seeker determination, zone RT. It's in the coastal zone. It's in a heritage area. And Landmarks is only advisory on this, or what's that? I see advisory.
Correct, yes.
Okay. Historic Landmarks Commission is advisory on this. It's in Ward 8. Yuri Donskoy and Catherine McCulloch are the applicants and owners. Welcome. How are you? All right, so I know you already had a building permit issued for this from Tom Tiano some years ago, right? So this has already been constructed. So we're just going through the formalities of just making it legal through everything else. So So you just want to tell us what it was constructed? I see, hi, Mark Grumble out there too. And didn't mean to, Mark, go ahead, buddy.
All right, the building is over 80% complete. The building permit was issued when the initial renewal was due. The building department was closed due to COVID. So we find ourselves back here on a second time. And due to a lack of quorum at HLPC and HAC due to a combination of vacancies, absences, and recusals, I, for example, had to recuse myself. We are unable to pass those approvals on to you, and they're scheduled to return to us.
Okay,
So we find ourselves in an interesting paperwork knot.
okay.
George, how is the stormwater going to be collected off of the roof? Because I'm concerned only because it's a slanting roof to the adjoining property. So is it going to be like guttered and then directed to a certain area that is not pervious?
The roof has got a 4-foot deep gravel drain that's routed around the perimeter of the building and down the driveway to the road, so that there's a French drain that connects all the drains from the roof down to the sidewalk, past the sidewalk to the stormwater comes out of it's taken out of the hill and around the building and out to the front of the driveway. It's all piped in.
So it's a French drain. I didn't see that on the drawings.
Well, originally, we didn't plan that. We were just going to have it drain into a system and add the French drains. But we found that when we excavated for the foundations, we went a lot deeper until we got to bedrock, actually, in some parts of it at the back. And so we filled up that space with Orangeburg pipe, something similar to Orangeburg pipe. It's plastic now. And backfilled it with gravel, number 4 drainage gravel, 4 feet deep around the outside of the cast concrete structure. That's all piped around the front, down past the house and out to the road.
Okay. Do you have a drawing of that, or does this building department have a sketch of that?
I'm not sure if they do.
There was an extensive stormwater issue there before, with a great deal of water coming from the slope above us and pouring out onto the road. And now there's just a trickle. So we've addressed a lot of the stormwater issues.
I'd like to just ask that the city engineer review that, because it is not on the drawings, just to confirm the situation.
Okay.
Lighting, what do you got for lighting there? I said, I'm just going through our staff notes here.
There's going to be a light over the door and maybe some yard lights just to
Okay.
make sure that there's a visible. There is a house light on the back that's a motion detector light. So if somebody walks back there, the light goes on and off for them.
Okay. And the use is for studio space only, right? There's not going to be any residents there?
No,
Okay.
I have an old car,
Okay,
motorcycle, and that'll be downstairs, and upstairs is enough room for me to have some storage and some workspace for my stained glass windows that I make.
is there any specific type of use? I mean, in there, is there welding or is there, we're just looking at, are there going to be any odors coming out of the?
No, there is a kiln that I use to fire my glass. It has a
Okay.
vent on the outside of the
All right.
building. So it's goes towards the back, that there's nothing back there except
Okay.
the property lines. The neighbors next door are talking about how they're going to put a garage up at some point. So that common border is going to be back to back
Okay,
garage.
because it's pretty tight through there, right? With, and just, there's not going to be any offensive odors going into the neighbors?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so.
No, we need to ask about those.
And how are the utilities being provided to the, you got buried electric and,
It's buried electric. It comes from the house. There'll be a second meter
okay,
because the kiln I have is a 220 line, so the electricians will solve that for me,
All right.
I'm sure.
and there's water, is there water to the unit?
There'll be a toilet there. Yes,
Okay.
toilet and a shower.
All right,
So you're pulling water from the existing structure too, or is that going to be a
From the
separate
house. No, It's
lateral?
coming from the house.
Okay.
and then I see that your expected completion date for the project is the end of the year, right?
I would hope so.
That's in a perfect world, that would be the.
I would hope so, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, from the plans I see on here, it looks pretty nice, you know,
What more actually needs to get done on the project, George? You say it's 80% complete. I'm just curious.
There's no siding on it and there's no insulation. The wiring and any plumbing still has to be installed.
Okay, well, so all the utilities are already connected, that kind of
They're
thing.
brought in from underneath the slab and they're stubbed in, but they're not, they don't exist just yet.
Okay,
But all the chase work is already completed.
okay.
any other questions from the board? No? All right, so Mark, you said that because of procedural issues and what have you with landmarks and is there going to be any approvals from those boards at all, or what do you?
They're advisory only, Wayne.
Yeah, HLPC is advisory only. The coastal zone is the HAC's responsibility.
Okay,
So
So-
my thought here would be, we don't want to have everyone come back and back and back.
okay.
So I'm wondering if you can ask all your questions, get everything done here, and perhaps waive appearances in future and be able to deal with it on an administrative level once the HAC and HLPC have had their say.
And we've done that before, so.
Okay, that'd be
Everybody's
great.
okay with that on the board? Okay. You're good with that too, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so under seeker, it's a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. At this time, I will make a motion that we approve item number 6 with, what do we got?
I'll read.
Go ahead.
Board policies 4, 4A, 6, 7, 7A, 10, 19, and 26. Satisfactory reviews by the HAC and the HLPC. Stormwater collection will be identified and approved by staff, particularly confirmed by the city engineer. All utility connections are brought from the house. The garage, this building will only be used as a garage in the owner's studio. Any other uses will need to be confirmed with the zoning enforcement officer. And that lighting will be limited to small residential style lighting.
Thank you. All right, that is a motion. Do I have a second on that? Second by Kevin Roach. All in favor, show of hands. Opposed? Carried. Thank you, folks. Good to see you. All right. Okay, moving on to item number 7. 52-54 Manor Place and 411 Albany Avenue, site plan for expansion of an existing parking lot. Section block and lot is 48.302-2-10.200 and 48.302-2-11. Seeker determination, zone C3, Ward 1, R1, Ward 6. Paul Hammerl and Peter Economos are the applicants. Hammerl Properties LLC is the owner. Mr. Economos is here. How are you? Good. Good to see you, pal. It's been a while. All right. Pull up my notes here. I think I did. Yes. Yep. All right, so just tell us what you want to, you have to turn your microphone on there too. It's obviously for the increasing.
Is that on? Yep.
Go ahead while I pull
Okay,
this
so
up.
this is the Simpson Hammerl Funeral Home. And as the photos I submitted, the rear of the building, most of people here probably have been there for wrong reasons, but they've been there. The rear is pretty much all paved already with the exception of the garage where they park their vehicles. And off to the side, there is one remaining area, which was a planting area. It's probably a 30 by 50 foot area, but the grass areas are actually only 18 by 30 with the existing paved portion in between. They're struggling with parking, and if they pave that last area, that'll gain them an extra 3 or 4 spots, and every spot counts.
Is the plan to repave the entire lot? Is that what's going to happen or?
Not
No?
for a couple of years, just that
Okay.
area right now. And we would, even though there's a catch basin, the photos I think will show there's a catch basin just outside next to where we want to pave. Sue brought to our attention that even though it's Hammerl Properties, it's actually 3 parcels side by side. And Hammerl Properties LLC controls all 3. And so we can't use the one that's next to us. So we'll put in a new catch basin in the middle of where
So
we're
that'll
proposing.
be like a dry well, correct?
You gonna, any of the fencing being moved at all?
No, the
Okay.
fences are all up already.
All right.
It's actually the closest to the building, that area of the parking lot. So existing site lighting is sufficient.
I know you said that you weren't going to repave. Do you think you might restripe that area? Right now, it's just basically free for all.
Yeah, right now he's already getting bids on seal coating everything first. And that's easier said than done right now, where you can't even get people to come out and give you a price. But we're trying, we're reaching out.
Any other questions from the board? Okay. Okay, so the parking lot circulation will not be impacted and will remain the same. That's another thing on here. Under seeker, this is a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. This time I'll make a motion that we approve item number 7 with board policy 6 that will need to be signed by the owner, and also what?
Just with the addition of the landscape buffer as proposed and the dry well.
And that can be submitted to staff.
Yeah, I think on what I submitted on the drawings, there
Okay.
shows the 3-foot planter area.
Okay. All right, that is a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Chuck Palaco. All in favor, show of hands. Opposed? Carried. Okay, take care. Good seeing you. All right, item number 8 is 101-135 Tremper Avenue, in parens 117 Tremper Avenue. It's a site plan to construct a 30-foot by 32-foot accessory building for storage / manufacturing. Secret determination, Zone M1, Ward 4. Vincent DiDonato is the applicant. Donna Spada is the owner. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can you state your names for the record?
My name is Vincent DiDonato. Andrew Farmer.
Okay. All right, why don't you tell us what you're planning to do here? Give us a,
So we're in desperate need of more production space. business is picking up and we're kind of.
You got to bring that
cramped.
mic in a
Oh,
little
sorry,
closer, yeah.
We're a bit cramped in our existing production space at 117 Tremper and looking to expand and hire a couple more people. Right now, we perform some abrasive media blasting outdoors, which is not ideal. And we're looking to move that indoors into this steel building and also store some of our foundry supplies.
You're not going to have any changes to lighting or anything along that line, signage? There's no changes of that nature,
No
correct?
additional signage,
And this is-
indoor lighting as
Yeah,
needed for
of course.
production.
Of course. Yeah, it's pretty.
And it's basically what they could call a pole barn, right?
Yes.
And it's not going to be
Exactly.
physically connected to the other building there?
No, and not
Okay.
connected, no.
Does this translate to additional employees or it's, you're going to main?
Hopefully 2 more employees, yes.
Okay. Mhm. I don't know.
I think they do have one there. All right. Any questions from the board? Okay. Under seeker, it's also a type 2 action, so no further review of the board is required. At this time, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 8 with obviously board policy 6, 14, 19, and 26. And that would be, that's, yeah, as submitted, board policy, that we covered under board policy 6, right? Yeah, okay. That is a motion. Do I have a second on that? Second by Robert Jacobson. All in favor, show of hands. Opposed? Carried. Thank you, gentlemen. Good
you.
luck. Okay. As a reminder, our next meeting, although we don't have a regular meeting in August, typically, will be August 9th, 6 o'clock. We've already been receiving some communications from staff with public commentary on the Bluestone Commons project. I would also like to,
Wayne.
yes,
I won't be at that meeting because I'm recusing from that application, so I'll have to take the night off.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Robert. I would also like to, we had some books by, a book by William Bertolet Rhodes. Is it Bertolet? I'm sorry. Okay. And I want to thank him for supplying a book for each one of us. The Colonial Revival Architect in Kingston and New York, outlining Charles S. Keefe. So that was nice, a nice gesture on his part. Does anybody else have any? Oh, those are yours. I'm trying to steal it right now. You see that, don't you? Did you see that? Any other business before this board? We're good over here, staff? Okay.
I also can't attend the August 9th meeting.
Okay. All right. Motion Wayne Platt to adjourn. Do I have a second by Charles Palaco? All in favor, show of hands. Okay, opposed? We are carried and